Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Let's seek the truth and travel the long road to justice together. What you know, Alibis, welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. Good to have you here. We're going to make this quick. I've got some plans. I got some company coming over, but I want to get this in before they do. Donna had her hearing today about the allegations of how she's being treated in jail, as well as her arraignment. Let's jump in. I have to say a couple of things. Number one, she looked much better than I thought she was going to look. She really doesn't look any different from her booking photo and also that first appearance when we saw her. The other thing, her attorney is definitely going to need to have a conversation with her about her expressions and verbalizing her thoughts while court is in session. She's very animated and a lot like Charlie. If you watch Charlie's trial, he kind of would shake his head no at things, shake his head yes at things. Donna was a little more verbal than Charlie, but still, it's going to be an interesting process if she doesn't tone it down. She walked in and chatted with her attorney until the judge came in. Her attorney says that Donna is on day 22 of direct observation. She can't participate in her defense and she's not allowed any paper. She spoke to her lawyer on Friday, but only because the prosecutor, Ms. Kappelman, facilitated that phone call. Her attorney says that call was not private. Donna was forced to put the call on speaker with a guard sitting next to her. She said there's no way Donna can prepare for her defense in this manner. The judge asked if she's alleging she's had no contact with Donna or limited contact with Donna. Her attorney said, I'm not saying there's no ability to talk to her. The direct observations contained within that motion that was alleging the mistreatment in jail, they weren't observed by her attorney, but rather Daniel Rashbaum, who is Charlie Adelson's attorney. He had a meeting with Charlie the week of November 27th. He was able to have that conversation with Donna in person. She says she has had a conversation with Donna over the phone, but her attorney's been told she can do 60-minute visits with her in person, but there's no video visitation ability. So her ability to meet with Donna is limited, but not non-existent. Her ability to share discovery is non-existent because, again, Donna cannot have paper. The state defers to Mr. Toomey. He says this issue doesn't stop her from speaking with or seeing her attorney. However, using a tablet is not allowed because the tablet has a headset that can be used as a ligature. Otherwise, her attorney is free to enter the jail. He says the chief is here and has assured him that they can have visits. He says he doesn't understand the problem that's perceived, but there's no impediment to any attorney-client visitation. The judge asks Mr. Toomey if the level of confinement and restrictions in place are due to statements alluding to self-harm during those jailhouse phone calls, the 35 hours the week Charlie was convicted that he and his mom had. Mr. Toomey says yes. And also in booking, Donna said she wanted to die. Now at this point, Donna shakes her head and laughs. Mr. Toomey says that before Donna was arrested in Miami, she had that 25-minute phone call with Charlie. He says that Donna spoke very clearly about a plan that she would kill herself if she couldn't get out of the country before she was arrested. He says he has personally listened to this phone conversation himself. At this point, Donna out loud says, "Oh my gosh, crazy." Everybody kind of looks over at her. Then he says using sleeping pills. The judge says one moment, and then he says, "Miss Adelson, please keep your comments to yourself." And then she shakes her head, smiles, and says, "I'm sorry," before he could even finish his sentence. Mr. Toomey continues and says that if Donna couldn't make it out of the country before her arrest, that was her plan. So then Mr. Toomey continues and says that this is what she said to Charlie if she couldn't make it out of the country before her arrest. Donna's mouth flies open, and then she just kind of smiles. Mr. Toomey said that was known to the jail when she got here. She is seen by mental health professionals every day. As of now, they're not satisfied that she's safe, and it's up to them to decide when she is. Her attorney stands up. The judge says that he'll give her a chance to respond. But then at this point, he asks Chief Mack if there's a protocol they have for dealing with inmates who threaten self-harm. He says anytime someone makes a statement or there's evidence that they would want to harm themselves, that's a one-way ticket to direct observation. On direct observation, they receive a smock and a suicide blanket. They didn't directly address these allegations that she is naked in her cell all day. Look, the smock is designed so that you can't tear it off and use it to hurt yourself. She's probably not wearing anything under that smock, but it's not like she's sitting there for all the world to see. They're placed in an isolation room with direct observation, and then they're watched around the clock. The judge asks, when are individuals reevaluated to go back into general population? The chief said that is something that's done every day. The judge asks if someone on direct watch can have visits with their attorney, and the chief says yes. They'll get the inmate, put them in an office with just their attorney, and then the judge asks about any kind of a remote capability for somebody in direct observation to communicate with their counsel. He said the inmate would be escorted to an office where they can see through the door. He said when Donna talked to her attorney, the officer was outside the door but could see in. At this point, Donna is just nonstop shaking her head and talking to her attorney throughout this whole line of questioning. Donna's attorney asked the chief, have you listened to the 25-minute phone call before Donna was arrested? He said he has not listened in its entirety, but he did listen to the part where Donna said she would self-harm, and that was apparently some kind of a pact that she had with her husband, Harvey. Donna laughs and says, oh my God. Her attorney asks if he participates in the decision if Donna needs to remain on direct observation. He said that decision is strictly up to the medical staff. She asks if the person making that decision is a psychiatrist or another person. He said yes, and then he names a doctor. He's asked if the doctor has spoken with Donna, and he says that this doctor has talked to her while on the unit, and also another clinician talks to Donna. Donna shakes her head, says not true. Her attorney asks how the doctor can move her from direct observation if that doctor doesn't evaluate her. Chief Mack says from what he was advised, the doctor and members of her staff have evaluated Donna. The attorney asked if he would be surprised if this doctor had never evaluated Donna. Chief Mack says, I don't think she would tell me something that's not true. He's asked if he has a report from the doctor examining her. He says that he would not have access to that due to HIPAA law. Her attorney asks, knowing you were coming here to testify about this, did you inquire how many times the doctor has seen Donna? Donna mouths, not once. The chief says he doesn't know. He's just making sure that her safety is taken care of. Her attorney asked the chief if he knew she was arrested in Miami and was held there for 5 days before being transported back to Leon County. She was in direct observation. He said he didn't see any paperwork. Her attorney says, well, she was released to general population after 72 hours in Miami. He said he heard Donna had said this to an officer. He doesn't talk about Donna specifically, just will inquire about where she is in the observation process. Donna's attorney asks, what have you been told as far as when she will be put in step down? He says you won't know until they determine that Donna is in the process, that she's ready to go. She asks what he did to prepare for today's hearing, and he said it was really based more on the allegations that her attorney made as far as why he was coming to talk today. He looked at event logs, but that's about it. Event logs are what the officers see on direct observation, I guess good or bad. The judge says he wants this focused on the matter itself and tells Donna's attorney this isn't a deposition. In other words, let's go. Hurry it up, wrap it up. Donna's attorney says that she was seen by a doctor on November 27th, but since then, the only person evaluating her is someone named Miss Richardson. The chief said the doctor said she was in the area with Donna, and he took that to mean that the doctor saw her. Donna mouths the word never. Mr. Toomey is back up and asked if Miss Richardson is a mental health counselor, and the chief says yes. If there are any notes about the interaction with Donna and mental health, where would they be? Mr. Toomey says a medical file. And then what does he do? Mr. Toomey's like, got the file. The judge asks if anyone has ever asked for those besides him, and he says no. Meaning Donna's attorney has not asked for this medical file. The judge says he wants to be sure this isn't arbitrary and that there are protocols in place for someone at risk of self-harm. The response is there's mental health professionals. They chart her status daily, and ultimately they will determine when Donna's ready to come out of direct observation. Mr. Toomey is asked if Donna's attorney has asked for her medical file. He says no, nobody has asked. And he said he would know because he has the final say of who gets that medical file before it's sent out. The judge says, let's move on to very specific separation of powers that revolves around this. The sheriff runs the jail. I run the courtroom. He asked, what is his authority for him to step in? Donna's attorney says that her constitutional rights have been violated. They only spoke Friday with the guard sitting beside her with that call on speaker. She says she has begged the jail to let her see Donna with no response. She says one option that the judge could do is, she says, you've heard the jail in Miami cleared her. She comes to Leon County, that changes. She says somewhere there's a disconnect. There needs to be a third party to evaluate Donna. And so her attorney asks to bring in her own mental health specialist or the jail to accept the determination of the jail in Miami that she can be in general population. So the judge asked Mr. Toomey what remedies are in place to inmates absent the court stepping in. He said there are two means. Number one is a grievance procedure within the jail, and number two, it would be a civil suit. The counsel from the sheriff's office said he's never heard from Donna's attorney. He said, I would know. I have a paralegal, I have email. He's never been contacted by Donna nor her attorney about this matter. Ultimately, the judge finds there is no Sixth Amendment violation of no access to her attorney. He asked Mr. Toomey if there's a way to make accommodation for her to see her attorney privately, even with her in the observation wing. And he said, yeah, we can do that. He said they will confer with defense counsel to let her have privacy with her attorney. The judge says there is a ton of discovery already turned over, and Donna will need to be able to go through that with her attorney. He also asks if there's accommodations for her to have a computer or some form of multimedia in direct observation. They said they can try to make accommodations through security to make that happen. The judge said he would not issue an injunction against the jail. He cites a case and says allowing Donna to be seen by a third-party mental health professional would be stepping on that separation of power. He says until there is an exhaustion of remedies, grievances, or other matters with the jail, he can't do anything. He said that they will get with defense counsel, which will eliminate the need for any future hearings on this matter. I have to say, Donna wasn't giggling. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't talking, because I think all of a sudden she realized this was a nothing burger. She's going back to jail until trial. As far as the arraignment, she waived the reading of the indictment, entered a not guilty plea. The judge asked if February or March is good for another status hearing. And her attorney says, no, we want it sooner, like January. The judge says that once they lock into a trial date, they will not be going backwards. So her next hearing is set for January 9th at 2:30. All parties can appear by Zoom if needed. Donna was escorted out. Her attorney was still talking to her, so they asked the court if they could have 5 minutes, and that was granted. So it's going to be interesting to watch all this play out. I'm sure her attorney is going to tell her, keep your mouth zipped. You're not helping anything. Every time something was said, she had to shake her head no, as if that's going to change where she's at or why she's there. That's it. Wanted to update you on that. I'll have another episode out for you guys on Wednesday. I got some stuff to do tomorrow out of the house, so I won't be around to do an episode, but we'll catch you back up on Wednesday. At some point this week, I'm going to do a case update on some of the cases we've been following. There's been a few developments, nothing urgent, but want to keep current with things. But until Wednesday, hope you guys have a good day tomorrow. We'll see you soon.